What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Pursuit.
Of progress.
So, guys, we're back with another Pursuit of Progress podcast. As always, my name is Adam. I'm here with my co-host, Ben. Ben, what up, buddy?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? How's everything going?
I'm good, man. Just recovering a bit after some shoveling of very heavy, wet snow earlier today.
That's right.
We've been spoiled this year with just the beautiful weather. I kind of forgot what that was like. So took a
We
couple
had one of those
couple
Colorado
sessions.
spring storms where very heavy, very wet, very difficult to shovel, but always welcome.
Yeah. So that was my workout today. And that's actually what we're going to be talking about today, guys. So we've had some friends and just listeners recently reaching out, just asking about, our morning routine. That's such a buzzword. I hate to even say that morning routine so frequently on this show, but just these habits and these different things that we've talked about over the last couple months. And today we want to just go a little bit more in depth related to exercise, healthy mind, healthy body, and just kind of share why we both choose to prioritize that, and not only the tangible benefits from working out and just having this healthy lifestyle, but also how they can very directly improve your business or just whatever you're doing in the professional world. So, Ben, what's your take on how much this has changed your life over the last, I guess it'd probably be about 5 years now?
Yeah, it's really been life changing for me, and I totally agree. Morning routine, it is such a buzzword. It used to be a popular buzzword, and now it seems like it's kind of a negative buzzword. But the reality is that is what it is for me. It is part of my morning routine, and what is so interesting for me is that prior to doing this, I was not a morning person at all. You would never find me doing anything in the morning at all, really. I was always the dad and the person that got up, 15 minutes before their kids needed to go to school. And what I found is that by living that way, I was always playing from behind. There was virtually stress from the very moment I woke up every single day. And, it's like I get up and I'm already behind. I have to I have to rush off and get the kids to school, and then rush off to work, and then rush off and do this. What has been so life-changing about this for me is that I have now removed that label from myself that I'm not a morning person. And having a very intentional morning, it is so sacred to me. I love it, and it's not something that I would ever not do. And you have been one of you're the main reason why. Because for me to get up at 5:30 and be at the gym by 6, I would just never do that on my own. And the fact that you've been there, with me the last 5 years, been my accountability partner, it's been incredible for me. And it's also prompted a lot of other really positive changes in my life. So I'm very thankful to you. And I am a very big believer in a morning routine, specifically going to the gym, exercising in the morning. And now I have like 6 or 7 things I do right after that too, that I love. So thank you.
Yeah, right back at you, man. And I think we'll go into this in more depth later on and maybe on a different episode also, but the whole idea behind an accountability partner is so incredibly valuable, and something that I urge anybody that's maybe having a hard time staying consistent or just keeping that motivation going. We're a little bit past a month into the new year. I know, I'm imagining a lot of people had getting healthier as their New Year's resolution. We're about at that point now where the gym starts to thin out a little bit because people just aren't staying consistent and holding themselves accountable. But again, back to just having a partner, somebody that's relying on you to show up every day, because when we have days where one of us is unable to meet each other, the chances, I know for you as well as for me, of showing up goes down significantly. So
Yeah.
if you guys don't have an accountability partner, just, put in some thought to, who those people might be. And, honestly, what I think is also a very realistic an option for people that maybe don't have that person in their life. Just find what you like to do. Let's just say you want to start lifting weights, going to a traditional style gym. just go there by yourself and just be friendly. Don't wear your headphones. Just start talking to a few people there. And I guarantee you, you probably have other people in the gym that are also there by themselves that might just be your accountability partner already there at the gym and just start to rely on each other. You can maybe even find that person already at the place that you're going to try and exercise on a daily basis at.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And when I think about accountability partners, like going to the gym in the morning, something that comes into my mind, and this is actually my first point and topic that I love going to the gym for, is just building momentum. Um, Personally, I think that, if you're going to do something great, whether it's with your family, whether it's in business, personally, something like this, you're going to be able to accomplish so much more if you have someone else helping you, supporting you, encouraging you. And it's like we can feed off of each other's momentum. And I know that you're showing up, you're working hard. That inspires me to do the same thing. I know that you're being accountable to me and to yourself. It pushes me to do more. And then it's always interesting how that momentum can then spill into other areas of your life and start producing results in other areas of your life as well. So momentum is a really important topic and factor and thing for me. And that's why it's like when we get into these routines where, we'll go to the gym 6 out of 7 days a week for 10 straight weeks. And I love that, once I have momentum like that, I never, ever want to lose it.
It's crazy how you go on a vacation for a week or two and how quickly you lose it. There's definitely a reality behind that momentum and being intentional about keeping it going and not just totally falling off the wagon. So even if you guys are going on a vacation for a week, trying to think of something fun and different to keep your body moving when you're on your trip, walking on the beach every morning or something, just to keep that mindset and that routine in some level in place so it doesn't just totally get completely lost when you get back home.
Oh, it's so true. And my body type, I will start to lose muscle mass in as little as 3 days from not working out. Like I can actually see my arms starting to like get smaller. And for me, it's just not worth it. Like when I go on vacation now, I'm working out. And my preference is to actually be in the gym. That doesn't always happen. If I can't be in the gym, then I'll go for a run, or I'll just do like a workout with my daughter where we do a circuit just based off of body weight, push ups, pull ups, sit ups, squats, and we'll do that for like a half hour. But I'm always working out now, and it's something that's very important to me. When I work out, I feel good, I look good, I it's also just my mental state. I feel better about myself. I'm more excited. I have more energy. So there's just so many positive things for me from working out, and it all starts. And I've always, to clarify, I've always worked out. That's always been important to me. But what's the big change for me is just the consistency of the morning workout, and that's where this momentum is really coming from. Because I feel like starting your day off like this versus doing like an evening workout, it's a big difference.
Yeah. I think that for me, speaking personally here, but if I tell myself I'm going to work out tomorrow afternoon, the chances of me actually working out drops by like 50%. Just
Hmm.
life gets in the way. You have a project you're working on, just stuff always seems to come up. What's so great specifically about the early morning workouts that we do, and when I say early morning, just early enough where by the time you finish your workout and get back home, it's still at a time in the day that nobody's calling you. Nobody
Yeah.
is expecting you to be available yet. So there's no excuses. If you wake up
Hmm.
at, 5:15 and get to the gym by 6, there's nothing else that is filling that time slot other than you going back to sleep for the most part. So
Hmm.
there's just no excuse. You're eliminating any other distractions, any other excuses, and just putting yourself in a position where the only reason you're not going to go is just because of your lack of motivation. There's nothing else that's going to deter you from keeping that consistency.
That's right. And because of that, I now have, and this is not a buzzword, at least yet, evening routine. I have now developed an evening routine to make my morning routine even better. And that's one thing that I kind of had to learn over the last 5 years was how to really develop that.
Hmm.
And if you are going to be very intentional with your morning and go to the gym and get the most out of your morning and your days as you can, well, you need to go to bed on time. You need to make sure that when it's time to go to bed, you're ready to go to bed. A lot of those distractions that you're talking about in the morning, like you need to eliminate those out of your evening too. And so that's been exciting for me to learn how to really refine and develop that evening routine so I can be in bed at a decent hour, rested and then ready to go for that morning and that gym workout.
And you guys, neither of us are morning people, so it's not like we're these gung ho people that just, the alarm goes off and we just jump out of bed. Everybody has their own way of kind of mentally getting over the alarm clock to just make yourself get up. And I know
Hmm.
Ben and I are pretty different on this one. Ben did a little break from caffeine right now, so he's not doing any sort of caffeine. But for me, it's just literally as soon as my alarm goes off, I get up, I go straight to my kitchen, and I just fill up a 20-ounce bottle of water, and I put in a scoop of my pre-workout that has caffeine in it, and I just chug that. And by the 10 minutes after that, it's already kind of this, in addition to probably to the physical, me absorbing the water in the pre-workout and getting it actually to affect my body legitimately, it's also just a mental thing. It's just this little, thing that
Yeah.
I'm doing that's just kind of waking me up, and it's almost like a, uh, a task that I'm doing that I'm not even really thinking about now. It's
Yeah.
just, you know, and another term that I like to use is win the day. There's a great podcast by a guy that we both really enjoy named Ben Newman. He was on the Andy Frisella podcast, and this was kind of a precursor to the 75 hard, which we'll talk about at a later time. I know a lot of you guys already are familiar with that, but with this idea of win the day, it's just something that you're doing at the very beginning of the day that's
Hmm.
a positive, it's a win. It's just building up that momentum from the very beginning of the day. And another example of this would be making your bed. I know there's a great book about that too called Make Your Bed. It's also a really good keynote speech by an admiral. And
Hmm.
just this concept,
Yep.
though, of just these little things you can do to build this positivity and this, you know, uh, progress that you're making from the very beginning of the day.
That's right. And when you win the day, a lot of times if you win your morning, you are going to win the day. And that's what I love about my morning routine is that I feel like I do so many things that are important to me that it allows me to win my mornings and win my day. And it all started with going to the gym every morning with you at 6 a.m. Before then, I didn't have a morning routine. I didn't have anything that I actually did in the morning. Now, starting in 2024, I actually get up a half hour earlier than what I was doing prior. And I actually get up and I read before I go to the gym now. I do a devotional before I go to the gym. I pray before I go to the gym. I do those three things and then I go to the gym. After I get home from the gym, I make my bed. I get ready for work. I help the kids. I work on my side hustle for an hour. Then I take the kids to school. So by the time that I drop the kids off at school at 8 a.m., I mean, I've already done 6 or 7 things that are really, really important. And I haven't even started my professional workday yet. And so that's what I was referencing earlier when I was talking about momentum, where starting this gym routine with you, it has propelled and given me momentum in all of these other areas. And it's just kind of like launched me forward towards, staying productive, staying efficient, and really just continuing to allow myself to grow personally and develop and better myself. And that's as I've gotten older and done more of this stuff, I've realized a lot of that stuff brings me a lot of fulfillment, knowing that I am taking care of myself. I'm taking care of my health. I'm educating myself. I'm becoming a better parent. It's very fulfilling.
Yep, there's just definitely that extra benefit of all of this, and this is that confidence you build by just proving to yourself
Hmm.
that you can be consistent and true to yourself and what your goals have been outlined to be. So that's something I totally agree with you on that one.
Hmm.
And
Great.
one last thing I was also going to say, guys, if you are in a position to be able to afford or at least maybe budget for a personal trainer, This is even taking it a step further from the gym buddy, the accountability partner. By paying for something, there's two benefits to that. Obviously, yes, you're getting a professional to guide you through your workouts. You're getting tips and just always focusing on improving from a third party perspective. They're giving their guidance. But in addition to that, by just paying, by just being committed financially to something, again, your
Mhm.
chances of going to showing up drastically improves, and just the effort you put forth in the workout, in my experience, has also improved and increased. So, if you're somebody that's having a hard time with this, and maybe can figure out a way to budget a little bit for that, that sure has been a game changer for me, and something I really look forward to. And just it's just another thing to consider if you guys are having a hard time.
Yeah, really what it is, if you have a gym coach, even though you're paying a coach to train you at the gym, what it really is an investment in yourself, to create that discipline, to build momentum, to develop the consistency and building out a new habit. And when do we have our trainer that we train with every week? Well, we have our trainer on leg day, because leg day is the hardest day of the week. And we train our legs so hard that a lot of times we feel sick after, like physically ill, after training our legs. And you know what? I love feeling ill from training my legs. And I never had that experience before. Before we had a trainer on leg day, like I would go do legs, and leg day was fine, but now I actually feel sick. And every time I feel sick, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. This is so awesome.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about the soreness you get from a workout that you push a little bit harder. And don't think that if you guys aren't feeling sore, that means that you didn't do a good workout. If you're very repetitive in your routine with different body parts, different days of the week, eventually, you're not going to have that same level of soreness that you first do in the week 1, week 2 of
Yeah.
getting back into it. Legs is a little bit different. A lot of lactic acid gets built up and just a bigger body part. But don't be discouraged if you're not feeling like you're going to throw up after a workout. That's normal.
Yeah.
And just talking a little bit more about our routine. So you guys, there's all kinds of ways to exercise and work out. We both just really prefer the gym, physical weight training.
Hmm.
Give a shout out to Armbrust. I'm wearing their shirt for this episode today. We've been going there now for 5+ years. It's an incredible place to work out. We'll have a few of the people at Armbrust on guest interview episodes later on as well. But
Yeah.
we basically just do a 5-day a week split, just meaning that each 5 days a week we're working out in the gym, and each day is very specific for a body part. So Mondays we do shoulders, Tuesdays we do chest, Wednesdays we do back, Thursdays we do legs, and then Fridays we do arms. And I
Hmm.
bring that up because another thing that happens to a lot of people that maybe aren't that used to going to the gym, or maybe they're just, I know I dealt with this too, is just feeling very little bit just worried about going to the gym, just self-conscious, just
Yeah.
scared, just it can be a little bit intimidating, especially the gym that we go to, probably of any gym in Colorado, just being full of a lot of professional bodybuilders and people that are very, very, very fit. But the reason I just wanted to bring up the 5 days that we do, it just gives you some direction. So then every
Hmm.
day of the week what you're doing that day. And that if you miss that day, then you're not going to have an opportunity to work on that body part until the following week. So it gives you another level of accountability to yourself if you break it up that way. A lot of girls will do it. Well, they'll actually do 2 leg days a week because they want to get their butt looking better, or, more of their legs focused.
Adam.
I only do my legs once a week, but maybe I also need to do that. Um, but there is some reasoning behind having specific body parts on specific days of the week.
Yeah, I agree. And going back to your point out about working out at Armbrust, a reason I love working out there is because it's a pro gym, and you literally have the community there is a very different community than your average gym. These are people that are serious, they're dedicated. A lot of the other people in the gym are professional bodybuilders. And I've always believed that, you want to surround yourself with the very best friends, with the very best business associates, and the very best people you can, really, in every area of your life. And I feel like when I go to the gym, just being in that community and seeing how hard everyone else is working and how just the level of focus and determination and the intensity and the energy, it's definitely different than any other gym that I've been to. And the wallpaper there, the portraits, all of the accomplishments from individuals at the gym, it's very inspiring and it's very motivating. I am not a bodybuilder. That's not a goal of mine, but I have immense respect for um, everyone there and what they are pursuing, and it makes me be more intentional with my workouts. And like you said, when you already know, when you have your gym plan designed to where you know what you're going to do that day, it helps with your focus, with your discipline. You don't have to think about what exercises you're going to do or what should I be doing. It's autopilot. You get in there, you're focused, you're determined, and you knock it out.
And I'm, somebody that's had a home gym in the past. I have one that I haven't set back up since I moved houses 6 months ago. But, some people make that work. My opinion on that is just, again, you're not going to put in the same level of effort at home as you are going somewhere. It kind of gives this extra level of commitment by just getting out of your house, going somewhere, and putting in that extra effort. It works for some people, maybe not for the others. But for me, I've gone down that path before and just realized for me, I just need to physically get out of my house and go somewhere.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I do enjoy the physical aspect of leaving the house and going to a gym. And I'm not the most social person in the gym, but I think just the energy of other people and just being around other people. I think that's really important.
And you guys, if you're a little bit further along in this journey, maybe you are somebody that does work out on a consistent basis. This is related just to the weight training type workouts, but our current trainer, Adam Young, he's been a professional bodybuilder. He won Mr. Colorado, which is like the largest bodybuilding show in Colorado. And then one of my other best friends, Brett Wilkin, and his wife, Ivana. One thing that I've really just realized after just being around a lot of these people at the highest of high levels within this industry is you don't need to keep reinventing the wheel, meaning you don't have to take these exercises for your body part that week and just have to feel like you have to get creative and do something different all the time. These guys have been working out for decades at this point, and they're doing the exact same shoulder workout almost to a T
Hmm.
that they were doing 2 years ago, 5 years ago. You're not going to gain additional muscle mass or get more toned and fit by changing things up all the time. Just being
Yeah.
very consistent and just focused on your form, your time under tension, and just really executing every single rep and doing that with those same exercises for each body part each day of the week.
Hmm.
That's something I learned with these guys that I was not doing prior to that. I felt like every week I had to mix it up, and that goes back to just this point of being a lost puppy in the gym and not knowing what you're going to do next. If you just have these, kind of anchor body part exercises that you're doing every single week, that'll really help you guys stay on path. And also knowing that you have to get every one of those exercises done for that body part before you're done for the day.
You know, did you see the news about Carl Weathers passing
Yeah,
this
it's too
this
bad.
weekend? I was really sad to see that. I loved him really in every role that I've seen him in, from Rambo to Happy Gilmore, of course, Rocky,
Predator.
Predator. Yeah, I'm sorry, Predator. I said Rambo there. But the Rocky movies, there was a lot of Rocky highlights that were playing, and when you're a kid, you look at how muscular those guys are, and they are. They're incredibly muscular, especially Carl Weathers. I was looking at Sylvester Stallone though, and again, very very muscular. But when you work out at a pro bodybuilding gym, where that's literally the norm of every single person, it's like, what? He just looks like another guy at the gym right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I saw him and I was like, wow, dude, I used to think he was like off the charts muscular, and now working out at a professional gym, it's like that is just another guy in the gym.
I didn't realize that he also played for the Raiders for a season.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. I did not know
Yeah,
about
very
that.
talented. It sounds like he had a really big heart, great smile, and just one of those, you know, just one of those losses that really hurts.
Mm-hmm. 100%. So, guys, we'll just talk a little bit more about the reason why we choose to go to a gym on this episode. We're gonna film another episode for next week as well that you guys can listen to that talks a little bit more about the additional benefits that you get from working out, the more non-tangible type benefits, because those are just as important, if not more important, especially if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur, or just somebody that needs to be performing at the highest level throughout the day, every day. So there's a lot of benefits also regarding that side of working out that we're going to talk about. We want to go into more depth on those, but when it comes to just the gym itself, Ben, do you have anything else you want to share just about working out on a daily basis and what you enjoy about it?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy the way that it makes me feel. My energy levels. I feel like I have that momentum that we talked about earlier. It starts my day off on a very positive note. I like when I look good. When I look good, I feel good. And to borrow a phrase from Coach Prime, when you feel good, you play good. And I believe that's true. And it does come through consistency, through working hard. But, um, I enjoy the routine of being in the gym. I enjoy being in shape. I enjoy having gym goals as well, increasing my strength. One of my goals was to put like 5 pounds on. I've done that now, and now I'm ready for my next goal. So, as far as the tangible things, I like knowing that I'm improving my health, that it's good for my body. I personally believe that in our lifetime, the average life expectancy through, you know, medical advances is going to increase substantially. And there's already evidence of that happening right now. I was listening to another podcast with a professor from Harvard on there who's very famous. And he said that if you can live another 30 years, if you can make it another 30 years, you can likely live another 100 years. And if you can live another 100 years, well, then you may have the ability to live forever. My goal is not to live forever. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that I believe that I will live into my hundreds. My personal goal is to live to 150 years old. And I believe that.
Let
And
me
so
just make sure everybody heard you. 150 or 115?
150,
150.
150 years old.
Okay.
That is
Okay.
my personal goal.
You're gonna be
My
one
life,
wrinkly ass man.
you know. But I'm telling you, man, these teenagers, oh my gosh. But when I go to the gym every day, I feel like I'm doing something to move towards that, and I feel like I'm keeping that top of mind, and I'm just bettering myself, and that is very empowering for me.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing I would add to that, guys, is just with any goal, it doesn't have to be working out or prioritizing your fitness, but just the idea behind a KPI, a key performance indicator. In other words, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So as you get into this journey of trying to better yourself physically with your diet, with your workouts, that kind of stuff, get some very measurable goals and have them be very short term and realistic, going back to those SMART goal concepts. And this is just a way to also just see the improvement and actually get a little bit of confidence behind seeing yourself progress. Because
Yeah.
if you just look at yourself every day in the mirror, you're not going to see those changes and you're going to get discouraged. Whereas, like Ben said, putting yourself in a position where you have a goal of adding 5 pounds for guys, maybe everybody's different. Some people are trying to lose weight, so maybe people are trying to gain weight, but having a number behind this, along with a date and an end zone to get to when you want to get there, just to get that excitement behind realizing that, hey, I am achieving these goals and I am getting better and I'm seeing the progress. If you're just kind of going in very unintentionally and not focusing on any sort of metric like that, realistically, you're not going to have the same level of accomplishment.
Yeah. Define what your goals are, what you want to accomplish. And then once you've done that, then define what are the habits that you need to build out and develop to get you there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I do. I define my goals, and then I build out my habits, and then I focus immensely on my habits.
Mm-hmm. And you guys, just as a side note too, muscle mass weighs more than fat. So if you are somebody that hasn't been going to the gym and all of a sudden you are and you're doing weight training like we've been talking about, don't get discouraged if that scale doesn't change, especially if you're trying to lose weight. I would definitely, if your goal is to get back into a gym with weight training and you're trying to just, improve the overall discomposition of your body, I would definitely recommend, rather than just focusing on the weight, also pick some other stuff. For example, you could do a measurement. So maybe measure certain body parts, and you can then do that 3 months later and see if your arms have grown, if your waist has shrunk, those types of things.
Yeah.
That's something that also you can very easily do at a doctor's office, or even just pay a trainer at the gym. Or there's definitely a lot of options out there. It's usually about $100. It's called a body composition index.
Mm-hmm.
There's even just scales that you can stand on that give some of that as easily as just standing on something. It somehow is able to figure that out. But just have some measurables, have some
Yeah.
way to see the success that you're having and get that momentum and that encouragement along the way. All
That's
right,
right.
guys. Well, Ben, thanks, man. That was a really good, quick, but I think informative episode. Guys, if you have any questions, you want to come work out with us sometime at Armbrust, if you want to just share maybe what's been working for you with your workouts, leave a note down below in the show notes, or reach out to us directly. We'd love to connect with you guys.
That's right. Until next week.
All right. The Pursuit of Progress, signing out.
The Pursuit of Progress.
Catch you guys later.